Hello, I'm Robert Kaplan, Principal of the Law Office of Robert Kaplan, P.C., with offices in Forest Hills and Great Neck, New York. Since 1986, we have represented buyers and sellers of 1 to 3 family homes, co-op apartments, and condominium units. We provide professional and courteous legal service at reasonable rates. In today's video, I will explain the closing costs when purchasing a one-family home in New York City and Long Island. In future videos, I hope to explain what the seller's closing costs are, as well as closing costs for selling and purchasing co-ops. First, to first-time home buyers, I must explain that closing costs refers to fees and expenses above and beyond the purchase price. Although some are paid at the beginning of the transaction, most are due at the closing. Buyers of residential property face two main types of closing costs, from the lender and the title company. Since the majority of real estate purchases are financed by banks, we will focus on those costs today. Of course, if your purchase is an all-cash one, closing costs are greatly reduced. Banks typically charge an application fee to process an application, an appraisal fee to determine whether the property is valued at the same price as the contract price, and some banks charge a processing fee or underwriting fee. Buyers are also responsible for the bank attorney's fee, who represents the lender at the closing. Finally, the bank may charge an origination fee, sometimes called points, where each point is equal to 1% of the loan amount. Buyers are usually given a choice as to whether to pay these points in order to buy down or reduce the rate. Banks also collect additional funds at closing to cover future property taxes and hazard insurance. These additional costs are called escrows. Although not truly a fee, they should be considered when you calculate your closing costs. The second type of closing cost is title charges. These include such fees as the title search, the owner's title insurance policy, and the lender's title insurance policy. These premiums are regulated by the New York State Department of Insurance, and each title company must charge the exact same amount. Other fees include filing fees for the recording of the deed and the mortgage, as well as mortgage recording tax. The mortgage recording tax is probably one of the most significant costs you'll have. The mortgage tax in the boroughs of New York City is 1.8% minus $30 of the face amount of the loan, and in Nassau and Suffolk, the mortgage tax is 0.8% minus $30. Since some of these fees are based on the amount of the purchase price and the amount of the mortgage loan, it is difficult to give you an exact amount without first speaking to the lender to whom you intend to apply. However, a good rule of thumb when estimating closing costs is 4 to 5% of the loan amount. Therefore, if you're putting down, let's say, 20% on a $500,000 house, your loan would be $400,000. And your closing costs would be approximately $16,000 to $20,000. I hope that this explanation has been helpful and informative. This is just a brief overview of your closing costs. For more information, please feel free to contact our office through our website located at kaplanrealestatelaw.com. Thank you.